How's it going, Blue Arrows? Welcome back to Jack's FS videos and to the long-awaited studio tour. Okay, so we're just going to get straight into it. Poster of a Boeing 777-200 like blueprint sort of thing there in a frame. But then we go into my wardrobe here. So I've got two sets of built-in wardrobes. I've literally just got a laptop case, a box full of like old channel memories and stuff like that I've kept, like an old hoodie, an old phone case with my old logo. Over in here, I've got some spare cable trunking, spare cable ties, my cushion for my chair, and a laminator, which I need infrequently. And then down here in this shelving, I've sort of got all my merchandise sort of going on and a couple cleaning products, as you can see. Basically up here is the pens. So these are the pens that I send out to you if you win a giveaway or if you buy them on my website. Some more pens, badges, stickers, some of my cards that I hang out at an event that I went to before. The Blue Arrow cards, for example, here that you guys might get. And then Paradox Network stuff there. Pens, cards and stickers again. Then down here we've got my two hoodies that I wear for my live streams. I sort of, switch them up, alternate them. Box of batteries, different kinds, AAAs, AA's, because you can never have too many batteries. And then back here I've just got some J-cloths, some Gettle spray and stuff. This is just a whole load of bits of cable things, like there's cable clips and stickers, and I've got like a HDMI, spare HDMI to DisplayPort adapters there, hooks, door stops, things for my robot vacuum back there. And this thing's actually quite new, this tray, and believe it or not, it cost me £90, something like that, to get this, plus shipping, because they only ship to America, so I had to get it shipped over separately, which cost even extra. There you go. I'm a bit OCD, and I like to get my things pretty much perfectly organised. And then down here, literally just got 3 boxes of cable ties. These are my multicoloured ones with labels that you can put on. I'll show you more about those under my desk. Regular cable ties, and then these are removable Velcro cable ties, which are really useful as well. Lighting in here, by the way, as you can see, it's all lit up, is just one strip of LEDs that run all the way down the sides and over the top, as you can see. And then it's just got a motion sensor down there in the corner. And then down here we've got spare merchandise. So these big boxes here are all boxes of pens. Then these 3 boxes here are spare business cards or information cards, just their spare badges, and some cans of air duster. Then over here, as you can see, we've got some safety equipment going on, because again, I'm quite safety conscious. Why not? So I got a CO2 fire extinguisher here. I think it's a 2 kilogram, and a St. John ambulance first aid kit. Of course it's St. John, because I volunteer with St. John ambulance, if you didn't know. This webcam is what I use for my behind shot on my live streams. So if you've watched my live streams, this shot right here is probably very familiar to you. So that gets plugged in. If I close this over, that gets plugged in to this USB here, which runs all the way along to my computer over there. And then down here I've just got my camera equipment bag. That's always charged up and ready to go. That's got my GoPro in there, my drone, all my other, like my camera stabilizer and stuff in that one as well. This thing here is just a little rack which I leave these things in. So all sorts there, different signs that I need to use, which basically I put on my door to say if I'm recording, if I'm on air. This one I put downstairs just to say, please be quiet. And this one I put on the front door to make sure no one rings the doorbell and stuff like that. We've got quite a lot of stuff going on in here. So again, I'll start at the top. It's literally just all postage stuff that you can see here. Trimmer at the back, spare paper, envelopes. And I've actually got motion sensor lights up here, but I have them that they activate when you put your hand up, because I don't want those coming on all the time, because I hardly ever go up there. New printer up here. Again, I only got this a couple months ago because my old one broke. That's an HP OfficeJet Pro 9020. And the reason I got this one is because it's got 2 trays. So I put my regular paper in tray 1, and then postage labels in tray 2. Spare paper. This is where I get most of my paper. Postage labels, spare postage labels in there. Standard 100 GSM paper, that's what I use for printing everything normally. And then I've got 100 GSM laid, which I hardly ever use. Mini fridge here, there's nothing in it now, and it's even off. I only turn this on for live streams. I keep an extra drink or two in there, especially for long ones. I turn it on before the stream, keep it cold, but I keep it off to save energy. Down here is a safe. I actually originally bought this when I was doing the ultimate gaming setup video, because those of you that have been subscribed to me for ages, you will know that I was planning a 1-year anniversary special that was going to be hours and hours long. I basically got so close to finishing it, and then I lost the file. So I actually bought this safe to put about 5 backups of the ultimate gaming setup and locked it away in this safe. That's basically the story behind that, which I still have some backups of some really important files I keep in here as well as backup codes to my Google accounts and things like that. Then in here, we just have spare envelopes and spare HP ink. And at the bottom, as I'm sure you guessed, more packaging and stuff. And here is the envelope that I use the most, which is the Jiffy size 000. This is my remote. That's obviously a light switch. But this is my remote for my 4 spotlights up here to have different colors. So I can set it to blue or whatever, rolling soft changeover, but most of the time I just have them on the white. Up here we've got a couple model aircraft. So we've got the A380-800 and the 777-300, both 1 to 200 scale from Emirates, and these were both bought in Dubai airport. Here I have a load of folders which actually have nothing in them anymore. I used to use them when I was at school in 6th form. I used them for my GCSE and A-level revision stuff. But since I stopped that, they've just become empty, and I've just sort of left them up there for decoration, to be honest. In here and in here, we have a very organized cables, spare cables and electrics and stuff like that. There's all sorts in here, so I won't go through them all, but just to give you some examples. In that box there, for example, I've got spare lightning cables and USB-C cables. Waste charger. That's that's for my bin, because my bin has a motion sensor, which I'll show you. Portable speaker, spare mouse, spare HDMI cables, spare RGB lighting, GoPro clips, SD cards, spare power bank, micro USB cables. So all sorts in here, really. Down here, we've got a couple books and then a load of games. This book someone gave me, I think it was actually my mum years ago. It's actually quite interesting. It tells you like the story, the history of flight, from, you know, the Birdman, the first one, through to the hot air balloon. There we go, first aeroplane, commercial jets here, and then up to the modern airliner. As you can see, that's probably not what you call a modern airliner anymore. First published in 1960. So still, it gives you quite a good insight into the history. This, I think, was a Christmas present from my auntie and uncle, I think, a few years ago. I haven't actually read it all, but what I have read is actually really interesting. The operations manual for Heathrow. And then here's just got a bunch of programs and games that I have on disc format. Flight sim, and then I've got other games that I use with Tectonic. So that's those. I'll just stick those back there for now. Here is my SATEC yoke system, ProFlight yoke system, with the autopilot there as well. That no longer works. I don't know why, but I tried plugging it in again and it just doesn't work anymore. So I've sort of, again, left it here for decoration, you know, sort of like the folders. Down here, I've just got some other equipment. I've got a tripod that I use for my stream, spare bag for my drone, spare propellers for my drone, selfie stick. And then in here, I've got all my controllers and sort of things, which probably doesn't look the most OCD, unlike everything else, but it's probably because I used to take these out so much. I've got 2 of my joysticks, throttle quadrant, stuff like that, a scheme controller in there. In here, I have fish tank stuff. So that sort of lives in there. Food and chemicals and filters and all that. Which, while we're on the subject of that, we have bucket and towel and things all there for my fish stuff as well, for cleaning it out. Down here, again, some spare equipment. This was a gift from my sister. For my birthday, my sister adopted me a polar bear, and WWF, there was the sticker, there it is. send you that. So that's sort of been living in here. I don't know where else to put it, to be honest, but yeah. So shout out to my sister for adopting a polar bear. Anti-static mat for making changes to my computer, spare Ethernet 30-meter cable, and headphones. Just a bit of decoration, couple fake plants, and my watering can, which I got for my birthday as well from my mum. Which is actually really useful for watering my 4 plants in here. And then we have the fish tank. This I've had for, I think, about 4 or 5 years. It's a 64-litre panorama tank. Inside, because I recently redecorated it, used to be a whole different theme. It used to have a London theme, now it's sort of got an East Asian theme. Neon tetras, I've got 14 of those. I've got 3 angelfish here. There, the other one I think is just hiding behind there. A few snails as well. There, and oh, there's one up there. And I've also got a Delta Tail male dwarf betta. Oh, there it is, right there. I was gonna say it's usually in the cave, but I don't think it's gonna come out. There you go, it's coming out just for the camera, guys. But yeah, Delta Tail dwarf or something like that. So then we move on to the main part of the room, which is where all the magic happens. Just before we do that, I will just explain about the renovations that I had done, which you may have seen on Instagram. Basically, this floor used to be carpet. I had it torn up, and me and my dad spent a day laying down this laminate flooring. It's actually really good quality. And then new carpet that I got as well. That sofa's been there for years. I've just got some new cushions for it to match the wall. And then I got some new plants over here as well. And then of course I painted the entire room. That used to be a grey wall, now it's navy blue. Painted all around the walls just to freshen up. And then the ceiling, that was probably one of the biggest jobs. It used to be an Artex ceiling, you know, with all the patterns and swells. So I had that taken off and bordered and replastered. And then I put in these spotlights and downlights. So I've got 4 downlights here, which are all hive controlled. All our bulbs in our house are hive controlled, pretty much. And then I had these 4 spotlights put in as well, which are remote controlled. Let's sit down for this bit, because this is where things get interesting, obviously. So we've got the mic here. This is from Editor's Keys. They kindly sent this to me. I can't remember the exact name, an SL something. There it is, SL150. Then here I've just got my iPad. I only ever use this on the channel for watching live streams back while I'm doing them. I've got the Logitech speaker system here. Again, can't remember the exact name, but all these links to anything that you see will be on my website. So that's the speaker system there. It's got the subwoofer plus 5 speakers. Google Home Mini there, though to be honest I'm going to be plugging in an Alexa instead, because I've got Alexa everywhere else in the house, and to be honest, Google Home Minis suck. Up here we have 4 displays. This has also had a recent configuration change. I used to have 6 monitors here. I'd have 3 at the bottom, all in landscape, 2 at the top in landscape, and I have a touch screen sitting on the desk in landscape as well. But I've shrunk that down to 4 to keep it a little bit more compact. These monitors are slightly different. These 3 here are all the same, and then that one and the one over there is different. That is just a USB port, iPhone, Lightning dock, mouse, keyboard from Alienware. This is my cable trunking back here. I got 2 lots of cable trunking, taking everything from my monitoring speakers down underneath. That is my stand for my 3 monitors down here. Another speaker, another USB port. This is my Mac Mini that I use for editing. That is plugged into a switcher so that I can use a remote and just switch between my Alienware and my Mac on the center screen. Couple of external hard drives which are purely for backup, and then of course we have the main Alienware Area 51 computer, which you can watch my Ultimate Gaming Setup video to see me unbox that and learn about all the specs and stuff. Here I've got a couple phones. One I'm recording on is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. That is my personal phone. Then in the grey case here, I have a Google Pixel 3a, which is my YouTube phone for Jack's FS videos and Tectonic. And then I have my black one here, which is, again, a Google Pixel 3a, but this one is for my Paradox Network stuff. Then we head over here. We've got the other display that I talked about. So this one is the same as the one at the top there. So this is a 24-inch, and all of those are 24-inch. And then this one next to it, the is it NOC or AOC? I always forget. This is a 19-inch portrait. So when I have a guest on my live stream, they will sit here, which is in the same chair that I'm currently sitting in, the GT Player chair. And then they'll sit here. They'll be playing the game on there. and have the live chat on that screen over there. They've got a microphone here. This is a Behringer C1U microphone, I think. Then we have the Editor's Keys FSX keyboard, which they've kindly sent over to me as well, and a couple mice for both computers that they're controlling, because these are on 2 separate computers, whereas for these 4 are all on the Alienware. It's a bit sad of me, but I really like this lamp. That is LED, and you just slide it up for your brightness. So I'll go down and explain everything on the bottom, but just before I do that, I'll give you a quick show of what's going on behind here. So as I said, these 3 monitors are all clamped onto the desk on a single arm, and then this one at the top here, as you can see, is mounted onto the wall. And then I have my speakers sitting up here as well. So I've got 2 speakers sitting behind the 2 side monitors, and the center speaker sitting behind the central monitor. And of course I've got the webcam up here, which is what I use for my live streams. Although I'll put this on a tripod, I won't have it up here because it's a bit too high for me. And this is everything getting plugged into the computer, as you can see. And as you can also see, everything is labeled. Everything. So even this webcam is labeled to where it's going. Everything coming out the back of the monitors are labeled, everything down here. And I've got a sort of color code going on for these. So I've got red for visual cables, which is HDMI or VGA. Everything going into this computer is HDMI or DisplayPort. Then I have blue for USBs, so that's cameras mostly, and my USB hubs. Orange keyboard and mice, they are classed as peripherals. Yellow for network cables, and what's the other color? Green there for audio. So I've got a sort of color system going on there. I'll turn on these lights because I've got a few remotes here. So this is my one for my lights for underneath. So you basically just, I have to point it over here, but it's the same system as the lights up there. You literally just turn them on, you can pick whatever color you want basically. And again, I usually have mine on white. That is another remote for the spotlights up ahead, the same as the one up there. This is what I use to switch between 1, which is my Alienware, and 2, my Mac Mini. And then this is my robot vacuum remote, which I'll show you in a bit. Down here, we have the bin that I spoke about, which requires a charger because it is motion sensor. Fancy, innit? And you can see all my rubbish in there. My bags, as you can see, are green because they're compostable. My dad likes to do his composting. So yeah, that's literally it. Here, I've just got my plugs for my fish tank, 3 plugs for my fish tank. So there's a lot going on here. And I've sort of tried my best to keep it neat, but still accessible. Because I thought about putting all my cables in snakes and thought about cable tying every single one. But then I just thought, you know, it does still need to be accessible because I do change things every now and again. But basically I've got 2 extension cables here, which are plugged in down here. This is a broadband extender from BT, which basically is a power line. So there's one of these plugged in downstairs next to my router, and then it basically uses a power line adapter, and then this goes into the Dell XPS over there. My Alienware has a direct line in. So here, got a few different plugs. Again, they're all labeled. So this is Apple Dock, this is Google Mini. I've got my extensions labeled as well. Speakers, monitor B3, monitor B2, monitor B1. So I've got them all labeled as well. Basically, my monitor system is very easy. A is for above, so that's A1. B for below, B1, B2, B3. And then C and D over there. That's how I remember it basically, so that if I'm looking down here and I think, I need to turn off monitor B1 or whatever, I just flip the switch, because they're all individually switched, and then can pull the plug. Then it's just a lot of cables up here, which I obviously won't go through because that would take me forever, but there's a couple more USB hubs down here, which again have everything labeled so I know where they're going. My external hard drive 2 and 1, camera 1, microphone 1. It just helps me find everything, even here for the extensions, where they're going, Area 51, and this side it's going to my USB desk extension 2, so USB D2 and USB R2, which is rack extension, USB rack extension 2. Then we have extension 2 here, but I've basically just got my switcher there, monitor A1, Mac Mini, 2 hard drives and a spare Apple plug, which I just use to plug in USB things or whatever. Then up here is where it gets quite complicated. So, it's a little bit complicated because I don't have a pass-through capture card for one. So basically, the feed comes out of the Alienware, and for 3 cables, they go straight into the back of the monitors. So for B1, A1, and B3, the feed just goes straight from my Alienware into these monitors. Very simple. Now my center monitor is a bit of a different story. It's a bit complicated because, as you can see, we've got 3 boxes here. 1, 2, and 3. That's my capture card. That is a switcher. And that is a splitter. Center monitor will get plugged in from this computer. It will then go into this splitter, which will then get split one way into the capture card, which will record the software and output it on a USB. And again, from the Alienware, we'll go into the splitter, one to the capture card, and then the other way will go to the splitter. That then feeds in the Alienware and feeds in the Mac Mini. And then that outputs it into the monitor B2. That's basically what's going on there. And another USB hub and some more audio cables there. In the drawers here, general stuff going on here. Staplers and pens, pencils, scissors, paper clips. In here, spare stuff, just spare pens, staples, glue, whatever. Down here, I got my keyboard and mouse, keyboard and trackpad even for my Mac Mini. And I've got this, which is also from Editor's Keys. These are really cool. You literally just have all of the key commands for whichever program that you need it for. So this one's for Final Cut Pro. Sharpies, which I use for writing out my cards and stuff like that. Here, got the spare bin bags, compostable, like I said. Here, got the instructions, spare warranty, discs, stuff like that, whiteboard, and spare like card, labels, paper, tracing paper, laminating sheets. So then we come down here to the other side. So like I said, this is where someone will be sitting. They'll be watching their game on there and the live chat on there. Down here, it looks a bit different. Basically, I've got a different kind of cable rack, a much shorter one and an enclosed one because I hardly ever go in there. So I thought I'd make it a bit neater. And a 6-gang extension lead. Same color, same brand, same everything, just 6 gangs instead of 8. But basically here I've got my 2 monitors, my lamp, my 2 laptops, and the LED lighting strip there. And then down here, it gets split a bit more. So I've got the Alienware plugged into this Balkan surge protector, then a 3-way adapter just there, one for the extension lead, one for my wardrobe, which is what my printer plugs into and the lighting, and one for my air purifier and vacuum. Over here is where the 2 laptops will go. So as you can see, I've only got one. I've got the Chromebook into this monitor here, which is to have the live chat. And then I usually have my Dell XPS 13 in there, which gets plugged in with this adapter. And then, like I said, 2 mice, one for each laptop down here. And it is a bit messy down here, but I can't really avoid that because I take my Dell XPS laptop out a lot. So basically, I put my laptop in there, plug in the power adapter there, and plug in the USB-C adapter there. Air purifier, which basically I've mainly bought it to remove dust from my room. Literally just has 3 power settings, on, off, multicolored RGB lighting, that should be on, and if the filter needs changing. And then we have my robotic vacuum that I talked about earlier. This is usually pushed in right underneath so that you can't even see it, but I brought it out just to show you guys quickly. So it literally has a remote that you can control it manually. But obviously this it's a robot vacuum, so it's designed to go out on its own. So I've set it to literally vacuum my room every day, 10 AM. Up here we then just have a little shelf. I've got a couple more fake plants here. And then a real one here that I got from IKEA along with the pot. New clock as well, that's new for this year. I kind of just like the cleanness of the clock, no numbers on it, with the metal handles, and it's actually like a slate clock. Same blinds as before, I just changed the tassels on them, just some heavy, like weighted metal ones. And then I've finally got 3 more plants here. All from IKEA, same for the pots as well, cactus and whatever the hell these 2 are. And a Hive radiator valve there, which mostly stays off because this room gets so hot with all the equipment in it that I don't usually need my radiator on. So like I said, those lights up there are Hive controlled, so I usually control them with the Google Home even, or the Alexas. And then those 4 up there are controlling the remote, either here or the one over by the fish tank. But if you've got any questions on where some things are, please have a look at my FAQ first on my website. The link will probably be on my spreadsheet. If it's not, then just message me or put a comment in the video and I will try to reply as quick as I can with the answer. Or if you've got any more questions on how it works, for example, that thing down there wasn't very clear, but I'm very happy with it. And thanks for watching.